Glad to have you join me as we read another chapter from another great book recognized as one of Africa's 100 best books of the century in an initiative organized by the Zimbabwe International Book Fair. Things Fall Apart. It is a novel which portrays the collision of African and European cultures in people's lives. My name is Yemisi Olufade. Our book for today is none other than a classic by Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart. My one chapter is chapter 7, and I will give a summary. Here's hoping the summary will make you get this great book and read if you have not, and to read again if you have already done so. Things Fall Apart is definitely a must-read and a must-read again. It is about Okonkwo, a great man in Igbo traditional society who cannot adapt to the profound changes brought about by British colonial rule. His downfall results from his own character as well as from external forces. This African story is rich in African culture and spiced with an abundance of African proverbs and myths. Chinua Achebe is an internationally acclaimed writer regarded as the founding father of modern African literature in English. Achebe is the author of many novels, short stories, essays, and children's books. Things Fall Apart, his first novel, was published in 1958. It was followed by No Longer at Ease, 1960, Arrow of God, 1964, A Man of the People, 1966, and Tales of the Savannah, as well as many other books. Now for the summary of chapter 7, which is the chapter I've chosen as the one chapter for this lovely Friday evening on Readers Club. Chapter 7 is about Ikemefuna and how he stays with Okonkwo's family for 3 years. He seems to have kindled a new fire in Nwoye, Okonkwo's son, who, much to his father's pleasure, becomes more masculine in his attitude. Okonkwo is aware that his son's new development is as a result of Ikemefuna's influence. He sees to it that the two boys sit with him in his obi to listen to violent masculine stories. Although Nwoye misses his mother's stories about the tortoise and his cunning ways, and other such stories that are considered to be for foolish women and children. He knows that he pleases his father when he expresses disdain for women and their concerns. One day, to the village's surprise, locusts descended upon Umuofia. They came once in a generation and will return every year for 7 years before disappearing for another lifetime. The villagers excitedly collect them because they are good to eat when roasted and dried out in the sun. Also in this chapter, Ogbuefi Ezeudu pays Okonkwo a visit, but he refuses to enter the hut to share a meal. This shows the importance of what he has come to see Okonkwo for, which is to inform him that the oracle has decreed that Ikemefuna must be killed. He warns Okonkwo not to take part in the boy's death as Ikemefuna calls him father. Okonkwo lies to Ikemefuna that he will be returning to his own village, and this makes Nwoye burst into tears, which got him a good beating by his father. During the long walk home with the men of Umuofia, Ikemefuna thinks about seeing his mother and sister, but he had a knowing that he won't see them. After hours of walking, a man among the men of Umuofia attacks him with a machete. Ikemefuna cries to Okonkwo for help. For fear of not wanting to be seen as weak, Okonkwo cuts the boy down. When Okonkwo returns home, Nwoye, from his intuition, knew that Ikemefuna is dead. Something breaks inside of him for the second time in his life. The first time was when he heard an infant crying in the evil forests where newborn twins are left to die. That was a summary of chapter 7 of Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart. If you have not read this great and intriguing African story, you may wonder about a lot of things. Who is Ikemefuna? How did he come to live in Okonkwo's household? Who is Okonkwo? Why does he have this great fear of being thought a weakling? So much so that he would kill a boy that has come to see him as a father, despite warnings not to. To get answers to these questions and more about the book, you need to read and enjoy this great book. It has been a privilege bringing a chapter of this classic your way. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Readers Club One Chapter. Let's do this again same time next Friday. Remember that the doors of the world are open to people who can read. So imbibe the culture of reading. Take care and stay safe.